This video I'm going to show how I blur faces using the free version of DaVinci Resolve 20 installed on Windows. So the first thing I'll do is go down and click on the color tab at the bottom, and then from here I want to work with the enhanced viewer, which will be over to the right when it's enabled and near the middle when it is not. Now I will be working with three features here: the blur feature, the tracker, and the window, which I will start using first. So with the window selected, I will go down and click on the circle below it, which will add a circle-shaped power window to the center of my video. Then I can move it around by clicking in the middle of it and holding the mouse button down while I drag it to where I want. And to rotate it, I can click and hold at the top of the line running up from the center and then drag it towards the direction I want for the rotation. Now to make it oblong, I can click and hold on a side node of the white circle and drag it to the shape I want. And to make it bigger or smaller, I can click and hold on a corner node of the blue rectangle and drag it to the size I want. Now to clear everything so I can start over, I will go down and click on the Reset All icon at the top right of the Power Window section. Then I can click on the circle again to add another one so I can position it over my head and make it smaller. Now to zoom in, I will go up top left and click on the drop down with the percentage value in it. Then I'll select the zoom level that I want to show, which you can also do all this if your mouse has a scroll wheel. You can drag the video around by pressing down and holding the scroll wheel and zoom by rotating it. So I will shrink the circle window a little more and then go down and click on the blur icon to show how that works. And all I will do here is change any of the radius settings to 8 and the blur will appear in my video where I have the window set. Now I'll go back up and click on the window icon and then up and adjust the softness of the blur by clicking and holding the pink node on the outside circle and dragging it out for more and in for less. The skill here is figuring out how big to make the circle and then adjusting the blur so it covers up the entire head, but I'm going to go back down and click on the blur icon and then down to click on reset all so it will be easier to do tracking. Now I'll go over and click on the tracking icon, and then what I want to do is go up and adjust the blue square so that it's just a little bit bigger than my head and centered around it. There are three main ways to track. You can either track forward and backward from any point in the video, you can track in one direction only, or you can track frame by frame. So when I click track one frame forward, it analyzes inside the blue square and adjusts the window accordingly on the next frame and then stops. Now if I click track forward, it will go through the rest of the clip from where I'm at and create tracking data, which you can see separated by color below. And you can click on the pause button to stop tracking and go over to click on clear all tracking points to start over. Now let's see what happens when I go near the middle of the video and adjust the window around my head there and then click on the track forward and reverse option. This will just track forward from where I'm at to the end and then go back to where I started and then track in reverse, but you can see that it eventually gets too distorted to continue, so I'll pause and clear it to start over. But first I'll go back to the beginning and set the window back to how I had it. So I want the window to stay a circle, so I'll go down and uncheck the 3D option to maintain its shape, and I don't want it to rotate either, so I'll uncheck that option as well. And now if I go down and click on the track forward option, you can see that it stays a circle, but it zooms the window too much, which throws the tracking way off. The tracking points are color-coded the options above, and I want to uncheck the zoom so I can adjust it as I go through the video. So with only the pan and tilt options checked, I'll go back to the beginning and center the window over my head and click on the track forward button again. And you can see that it doesn't zoom this time, so it will track a little bit better, but it's still a little off, and I need the blur to grow as my head gets bigger. Now before I show you how I do that, let me show what happens when I adjust a window with the clip option enabled. So after scrubbing the timeline to where the tracking is off, I'll adjust the window so it's over my face and then resize it to where my head is in the square, and then track forward the rest of the clip. But the problem with doing that while in clip mode is when I go back to the beginning, now my window is larger and offset because it kept the changes I made. So it's important to understand that when you change the window while in clip mode, you are changing it for the entire clip, which is why I prefer to use the frame mode when I walk towards or away from the camera, so I'll go over and click on the frame button, and you can see that now when I change the window, it creates a keyframe that will morph into the adjustment I want. So while in frame mode, I'll track forward again from my adjustment and then go through the timeline and keep adjusting the window so it's over my head. I can also create new tracking points after adjusting the window by clicking on track forward at the new keyframe position. And after I have all my keyframes created, I can go up and click on the blur icon and set the radius to 8 again, then go down and click on the edit tab so I can see how it will look. So from there, I just scrub the playhead to where I want to change the blur, and in this case it's too small, so I'll start from the beginning and then go down and click on the color tab. Now I'll go up and click on the tracker icon and then up to adjust the window so the blur will totally cover my head. And to go to the next keyframe, I'll go down and click on the little arrow next to the diamond icon in the upper right corner in the tracking points area. Then I'll go up and adjust the window so the blur covers my head for that keyframe as well, and keep doing the same for every other keyframe for the clip, and go back down and click on the Edit tab so I can see how it will look on the video. So I'll go back to the beginning and then press my spacebar to play it to watch for places I want to adjust or add more keyframes. And I see some spots, so I'll scrub over and then go down and click on the Color tab to adjust the window, which will create a new keyframe at that point. So this is how I like to create a blur over my head. I just switch back and forth between Edit and Color until I have all my keyframes set. If you know of a way to hide all the lines and nodes on the color page, so I don't have to switch over to Edit to preview the blur, please let us all know in the comments. Hopefully this video has helped, and feel free to ask any questions that you still may have in the comments. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe for more quick and on-point videos.